My domestic violence advocate was concerned about my safety, and it seemed that the assistant district attorney's office was more concerned about building a case. I thank my advocate for saving my life and my son's life. I am a survivor. Things just escalated to the point where it was just out of control. With him and his drug use, and it seemed like the mental instability, it just got dangerous. And my situation was a little different than I think a lot of people's, because I was dealing a lot with like stalking and obsession. He seemed to be almost infatuated to a point where it was dangerous. So it wasn't a situation where, and I only say this because I lived in a safe house with other battered women, and they would say to me, I'd much rather have my situation than yours. And I'll talk to women who've had broken bones, who've been in the hospital, broken ribs. I was talking to one lady, her eye was like blood in her eye, red. And I would say, what do you mean you would rather my situation? I've never been beat up like how you've been beat up before. Why would you rather be in your situation and than mine? And they would say, because the guy you was with is fucking crazy and he gonna kill you. My man, he'll just beat the shit out of me and go about his day. But this dude is trying to hunt you down and shit, and hiding and climbing out of fucking doors and stairwells and tracking you down and shit. Like, you dealing with a fucking crazy ass motherfucker. And for me, I was just like, well, aren't you dealing with that? And it was like, no. He get in a bad mood, it escalate, things get violent, and then, that's the worst of it, is that. If I do die, if something happened to me, it will be an accident. Like, I hit me the wrong way, or my head hit the wall, and for me, I couldn't understand how they could kind of justify that. And I was just like, but it's still bad. Whether it's my situation or your situation, wrong is wrong and bad is bad. We're all in situations. We all don't feel safe. That's why you're in a safe house. I guess I didn't understand how severe it was in my situation. Even though I was dealing with professionals who were telling me that this was really bad. And that's why they felt it was important to build a case. They felt like they had to build this case. Like, we have to document everything for you and for your family. And what I mean by that is just so that, when he does kill you, we have enough evidence to put him away and justice could be served. My advocate was, I don't think you're going to die. I think it's very serious, but if we do what we need to do and we take the steps and we're smart and we do things, we can keep you and your baby safe. And that's what I want to do. And so you can either stay here and build this case and fight this case, or I can let you go anywhere you want to go. And I sat down, and I had to make this decision in like 2 days. I had to figure out where I was going to start my life over. Me and my baby. Where was I going to go? I had no money. I didn't have... so crazy. I was just really trying to figure out. And as much as I wanted to go to the West Coast, because I always wanted to live in California, and preferably in the San Diego area, and look at the ocean, and just so beautiful there. I knew I had to go someplace that had some transportation system. I knew it had to be someplace that wasn't so expensive that after I got out of the shelter, I couldn't afford to get my own place and live there. And so even though I had a short window of time to figure out where I wanted to relocate to, I had to make smart decisions, and I picked maybe 3 different cities, and then we just started calling the shelters. And getting placed in a shelter is hard. It's hard to do it by yourself, and it's even hard to do it even when you have an advocate. But that's why I always tell people, get an advocate. Go through a hotline, go through an organization, because they will advocate for you. and my advocate was calling and doing what she needed to, and she got me a spot, and they said we could hold that spot till tomorrow, which is something they hardly ever do. And they held a bed for me, and the next day I went, and my mom paid for my ticket, my airline ticket, because the agency just couldn't pay for it. And she paid for my ticket for me to go because she wanted me to be safe. And that to me was something huge, because we didn't have the type of relationship where my mom would do something that big for me. I mean, my ticket wasn't a whole lot of money. I know it was less than $200, probably about that time. In the way tickets were, it probably was about $100. But even to do that at all was huge. And we went. And I don't honestly think that she thought I was going to stay gone. Maybe that's why she did it, because I never came back. It's been over 10 years and I never went back. When I say back, I mean back to my family, back home. I just like resettled somewhere else. And there's reasons for that. It's because at home, it's his home and he has family there. And it's so much easier for him to maneuver and get around the city. And, you know, if he goes to jail there, it's no big deal because he know people in jail there. You know, his family could come visit. People could put money on his books. You know, it's just a lot easier from him there. And I didn't want every holiday or anytime I go around my family, I have to just be cautious that I might run into him. Because as big as New York is, it's small. And from experience, I noticed that people don't really like to intervene or help you when you're in need. And I didn't want to be in a situation where I ran into him and I was on a subway, on a train, or some confined spot, or I ran into him anywhere and he could just follow me or whatever. I didn't want to go through that. I want to always, even though I still look over my shoulder and I'm still always protected and I'm still always, you know, have some protection on me, I didn't want to be like that in New York. Because New York, people are always around you all the time, and it's not good. But yeah, I think my advocate. And she not only helped me get here, but she called and she checked on me almost every day. And even after I got out of the shelter and I went to transitional housing, she was still there. And even after that, I mean, my advocate was with me for years. And I mean, just calling to check on me and encourage me, and it built me up. And when I would get back with him, or I would give him another chance, she was like, you can do this. Just keep pushing forward. Just keep doing it. A lot of people go back to their batteries. It may take time, but I do believe you can leave. And the only reason why I stopped talking to her is because she lost one of the women that she was counseling and that she was helping, and she just couldn't do it after that. She was so passionate about each and every one of us that when the woman was murdered, she just couldn't handle it. And she said, this is going to be the last time we speak. And it was. And I feel like I owe her the world, because she was there for me in such a time of need. And if she is able to see this, or somebody is able to tell her, please let her know how thankful I am. I thank you. I really thank you from the bottom of my heart. You know, when we came into your office the first time, how tiny my baby was. And he was just a preemie, and he was only a few weeks old the first time you ever met us. And now you should see him. You would have never even known he was premature. And he's so smart, and you were right. You were right about so many things. And I just want to thank you. Because you were like an angel in my life. So thank you so much. Thank you. And all the advocates and all the counselors who put their life on the line for us, thank you. Thank you so much. Because your words and you being there means more than you even realize. So thank you.